Hello everyone and welcome to a very special episode on Usually Fixing and Tinkering. We are in the Highlands of Scotland, or not quite, in central Scotland, having a look at one very special Mark 1 owned by somebody who has tirelessly given many hours to members, and he's a very vital member and person in the hierarchy of the Mark 1 club, who gives tireless amount of time to many members, helping them to keep their cars on the road. He is a professional and he has done a lot of work on his own Mark 1, a Mark 1 that has been featured a couple of years ago before on the channel. So let's reveal. And there you go. We have a very nice Ford Focus Silver. Ignore the Zetec on the doors. This is a famous silver that I have featured before. This is owned by Craig, who is the club's technical expert. He's owned this for a few years now, and this car has definitely improved quite a notch very recently. It's had a full underbonnet restoration, sort of underneath the suspension department at the front and at the rear. Everything's been changed that needs to be changed. It's just the top side with the paintwork, some bits in the engine bay. It's had an awful lot of time spent on it, and Craig has obviously done it all himself because he is a professional mechanic in his day job, and has helped many members with their cars. Obviously a silver. You get the three-door cards, you got the three-door edition. Now the original wheels would have been the wheels that you'd have normally got on, let's say at this stage, a Zetec collection. They were accessory wheels. It's pictured in the picture. They're not the most popular wheels, and these wheels were fitted to several different limited editions on the special limited edition side of things. It was an accessory throughout production. It wasn't very popular, so I suspect that that's why they offered it on the special limited editions. But these wheels in front of us are SI Mondeo wheels that Craig has fitted. It is while the few additions that isn't of originality on this car that he has just customized his car with. They go quite nicely actually with the car, and I've actually never seen a Mark 1 wear these, so it's definitely a different idea and something that makes it personal to him, and that's really important. We have the side indicators. Now these indicators are clear, they are built-in LEDs, and they are Audi like. Yeah, that is a thing. I mean, most of them are actually black. When they launched these kind of lights a few years ago, I was actually looking at some for 50 Shades, and I was doing a bit of modifications here and there, and it definitely floated my boat. But there weren't any clear ones. If these were available, I'd have almost certainly bought them. Some people think they're tacky, some people not. I think that would have gone quite nicely actually with my particular car, and they suit this. Being the silver, it won't suit having black, and black on silver, it's not great. The colour obviously is machine silver, which is a sort of more gunmetal silver than the more common moondust silver, which is kind of almost common as muck really. But this was a little bit different, and the paintwork is actually shining quite nicely today. It's still got battle scars. This is a bit more immediately obvious on the three doors, where you've got this vast panel, which I've been used to looking at dents on 50 Shades for many years, and you know, it's just such a big panel that you can't not dent. But overall, it's had everything done at the rear. Now on the silvers, you'd have also had the accessory chrome piece that I obviously have on Mr. Ink, but this was a standard fitment, so it has been slightly oversprayed with many bits of paint because Craig has been busy in this department, but they are a very nice feature. So it looks like an add-on to most people, but this was actually standard on the silver. On the black edition, was the first proper run of special limited editions. Obviously you had the Zetec Collection and Millennium, which were kind of, in my opinion, one-offs, because the black came far later. But the silver edition, believe it or not, was the first special limited edition for the facelift models, the Mark 1.5 as some people would like to see them as. But overall there weren't many changes at all. Obviously the new look was pretty cutting edge, put it that way, particularly with how the front of the car is. Now unfortunately there is a technique to this. No, it's not going to do it, is it? There we go. Craig has just got a perfect technique. That is a very common fault. It's the rod that needs adjusting. Pretty simple to adjust. There's a knack for that. And inside the interior we have obviously got the this is more of a Zetec thing, by the way. These doors have come off of a Zetec, hence the badges are there. Now originally you wouldn't have had this on the silver, I suspect, but everything else is exactly the same as what you'd expect. You've got this sort of less silvery sort of gunmetal sort of finish to the center console. This is not the same silver that you would have got on a typical Zetec, so this is a bit more gunmetal machine finish, like the paintwork on the outside. We obviously have the gear knob that matches with this finish. Everything else is exactly the same. In fact, we've got the heated seats, but we haven't got traction control. Now one thing I will say is pre-facelift Mark 1s are very ill equipped with what they have, because we have rear discs, which is what you got on the silver, but we don't have traction control. We've got ABS, because obviously we've got rear discs. If you have discs, you've got ABS, okay? If you had drums, you may have ABS if you bought the reflex pack. That's the only thing with that. But usually, ABS and traction control, they come cap in hand. It certainly does on the later cars. It doesn't on the earlier cars, so not necessarily fitted together. I was actually surprised, and I'd actually forgotten that this car wouldn't have traction controls. The first thing I said actually when I saw the rear discs, but no, not at all. So there are some things you still didn't get. You got a heated screen, air conditioning, goes cap in hand. So you've got a full 4 buttons. I'm telling you, if you've got 4 of these buttons and not 2, you know you are doing well. You'd be very unfortunate to have just a car with 2 buttons, the recirculation and the rear screen, which was standard on every specification, regardless of whether it was a CL, etc. But more specifications, higher specifications would get more buttons, and you knew you were doing well. Obviously, there's been a bit of butchery. Obviously, these cars are not double dim, okay? They're 1.5 dim for your radios, and it is quite common. If you want to fit something bigger, you've got to butcher the aperture, and Craig's had to do that just to fit the Pioneer radio. A lot of it was damaged anyway, but that will make the car a little bit more usable. But everything else is exactly as you would expect. Typically, leather steering wheel that has seen... Mate, have you been going over with sandpaper on this thing? Damn it, what the hell? Would you believe it? These carpets look as if they've never been used. Goodness me. In fact, I'm telling you something, Craig. These look a little bit different to the ones I've got in mind. I'm not joking you. It almost it looks like the material is actually a bit more suede. So it could be old stock actually, but these carpets are really, really nice. They go really nicely with the interior, and it finishes off really well. Obviously, 3-door cars. Well, this may have been fitted, some of you may have noticed this sill panel, okay? Now this was an accessory from the get-go. We're not quite sure whether this car had it from new or not. Most likely not, and it would have been fitted later on, or it was ordered as an accessory from the get-go. Yeah, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. Yeah, sure. What I like about the 3-door seats is that you've got these lovely big bolsters, and these seats are exactly what you would see something like on 50 Shades. They are Zetec, usual standard Zetec 3-door leather seats, not from the Gears. The Gears do not have bolsters on their seats, so these seats would go straight in a Zetec 3-door, because they are exactly correct. And these would have been put in all the special limited editions with 3 doors, exactly that. As I say, we've got another accessory trim on this side, and we've got something missing. Yes, it's a car with a removable rod. Yes, I'll make sure that goes back in fully. Yeah, we're missing a few bits of trim. The seats came that way, so we're trying to find a few bits and pieces. And at the rear, we're missing we're missing a headrest there, but don't worry, we'll come on to that. And some of you may have noticed as well, registration plate. This is in a very, very 80s font that only Ford, I believe, were quite famous for. Now, these, don't be confused by what it says here, because this car was registered actually very, very close to me, near Birmingham, in fact in Wolverhampton way. So it's quite a local car to me. It started life by me, but somehow it's ended up here from one person to the another. But these plates were a present, and what a lovely present. And everybody might remember these type of style plates in the 80s, very, very 80s Ford. Obviously the Knockhill sticker, because that is my friend's favourite place to go. This car has been subject to a lot of work underneath. New arms, new bolts. Not everything has been done, you know, old exhaust, but the point is it's all been done in the suspension department, and it is looking far better than what it was previously. We managed to get the bonnet up and have a look at what we have under here. Common as muck. Most of the editions have a 1.6 Sigma Zetec SE engine. Standard, run-of-the-mill, 5-speed manual. You cannot get an automatic version of any special limited edition. Bummer. But anyway, that's all we need to see under here. It's not as tidy as what you'd think. This is the area where Craig's going to do a bit more stripping. Now, those of you who may know Craig himself will know that the original engine of this car kind of went a bit south. It started burning more oil than petrol, but it still worked. Unfortunately, it had done around 200,000 miles. No?
No? It was only...
I thought it had done more than that.
No, it was only about 110.
110? Goodness me. What on earth, what sort of life have you put it through to burn oil at that stage?
But everybody who knows me knows I'm no easy on them.
No, I know you're not. Unfortunately, if you use Mark 1s in that way, these engines are less robust than Zetec engines on severe amounts of abuse. And really honestly, Zetec engines can handle that, which is why they're more popular with people who do track days. These engines, they're bulletproof as long as you change the oil and the belt and you don't rag them to the very edge. Although I would dare say these engines were strengthened later on, because this exact engine was the engine that Caterham selected to put in their 7. So they can't have been that weak. They were certainly very strong engines, but in Mark 1s, I don't think they were quite as strong as what they were later on, put it that way. But anyway, very capable engines in normal road use. Normal is the word on that one. But we've got a bit of scabbiness here. I've seen this on a few Mark 1s now, where the scuttle panel just starts going through again. Craig's painted it, but it's coming back as it usually does, so I think the whole thing's just going to have to be replaced for a much better one, because sometimes you just can't fight with them. It's not as bad as what I've seen on other cars where there's literally holes going on, which happens more often. And I'm afraid he's got a minus mark, because unfortunately he's got blooming dark cherry. Yes, ATF, not good. You need the green stuff. That's a mark down. Oh, I'll take that cap. We can see down there where Craig has been busy. Yeah, definitely. New brake pipes that go to the ABS module in the corner there. Very nicely accessible. But we got a new subframe. Not an anti-roll bar has been painted silver, as you can clearly see. That's actually really good, because you can tell where it sits in the car. And then you've got the new clamps, new bushes. It's been all done really, really nicely and properly. And in fact, I'm just going to shove you underneath. Oh, very nice indeed. Very clean, very dry. It's all been done properly. Very, very nice indeed. Now that concludes a very brief review of what is a fine Mark 1 getting better. Some little additions that have been made here and there, but overall a very solid car, and a car that Craig absolutely loves, and we'll be coming back to this on another time. But here's to this lovely Silver. Take care, guys.